What up, people? My name is Lewis Lee, and this is Playing in Traffic. We do this every Thursday night for the last 10 years, except for holidays. And we talk about everything that you can put gas in: cars, trucks, boats, all the good stuff. What's up, Ray?
10 years. Yes, sir. It's certainly has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
It's not losing steam yet.
Yeah, next month it'll be 10 years exact.
Yeah. And there's
Yep.
still topics, there's still things, there's always something to talk about.
And good friendships.
Yeah, well, that too. That's what comes out of something like this. Like I said, the topics, stuff that we just talked about off air, in fact, things that you've done before, and then somebody else comes up with a question that you may have dealt with many, many years ago and been in depth, and then you kind of forgot about it. And now somebody else comes up with it now as a new thing. You get to revisit that and, maybe learn more than you did the last time. And then if you're, smart about it, kind of the way we do it, you always rely on your friends. You look at them for answers too. Because none of us have all of them. That's for sure.
With this platform, it's really nice because we can talk to people all over the country. People in California do a little stuff a little different than we do on the East Coast. So the internet has opened up a world of knowledge.
Absolutely. Yeah, the friends I've made, I mean, you've made scores more, but I made quite a lot of friends. When I sit back and think about it, I'm like, damn, yeah, there's a lot of people that I've met and not even met in person yet, but, have been dealing with for years, through my own radio show, from this show. It's kind of, I think that's the good thing when we look back generationally. This will be the good thing of this era, the relationships. Yeah.
And finding equipment and parts too. 25 years ago, you had to go to the junkyard and find a part. Now you can go online and eBay and different sites and find a part in Texas, Florida.
I have mixed thoughts about that too, because I was a junkyard rat. I used to hang out with a guy who owned a junkyard, so we used to pick stuff every day, and you got to really know what you were doing. Now to rely on somebody else to pick it and send it, this many years later, they don't always know what the parts are. They don't, I've had some trouble where, the people now who are doing that are a lot younger than us. So they kind of didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
I've even found out now with just parts stores. Like I said, I told a story about my horn relay last week where, I asked for this relay and they come up with a picture, and I knew that the picture was not the relay that I needed. And the guy says, well, that's what's in my, I said, yeah, I know it's in your database. I said, somebody uploaded the wrong picture and didn't know any better. And now everybody is being affected by it.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. If you could find a part out of state, you didn't have access to that years ago. So if you can get the right thing, yes, you can be ahead of the game for sure.
Well, another thing is stuff that was really hard to find.
Yeah.
Even
things you have access to. Yeah.
Yeah. Even it even goes to other parts too. Like for my table saw, somebody took the guard off.
Right.
So to find that guard, they don't make it anymore. You can't get it from the company. And I found them on eBay, but they're real expensive. So I was, don't have a guard, but you can find it.
What type of a saw is it?
It's a Delta.
Okay. See, Delta's a main brand. Now, I was going to say years ago, if you had something from Sears, you could get things that were 30, 40 years old from their car. They had them. They had the parts, it was Sears Repair Center. Now they closed them all up. The repair centers aren't there, neither are stores.
Yeah.
So that used to be a great place. I mean, we all bought tools there. Your mama bought you those ironclad jeans there that you hated to wear because they were like, they were like asbestos. And like I said, just the tools, and then later on when you bought yard equipment and all, you could always get something to repair a piece of Sears equipment.
Yeah, Sears was the spot.
Yeah.
I was watching a video on YouTube. A guy or actually it was Steve Darnell.
Okay.
He has a he bought some land, I think, and he found an old house on this land, and he thinks it's a Sears house, one of the catalog
Oh,
house.
yeah, they used to make those back in the days. Yeah, they sold them out of the catalog, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to see one of those old catalogs. Like that'd be pretty cool.
I think they're online.
All right.
I know the Radio Shack stuff is online from way back when. The Sears may be now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. Like when that catalog came out at Christmas, that was like Toy Central, man. You go through that thing, all the Christmas toys were in there. I remember looking at those, electric guitars and drum sets. Like, oh man, I want all this stuff. Bicycles, and they had the mini bikes and go karts, and oh my god, there was everything in there. Everything.
I wonder where they slipped. You know what I mean? Like they were it for 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Montgomery Ward in the Midwest gave him a good run. J.C. Penney actually did too. There may be others, but I know even going forward, my kids who were millennial and Gen Z, they grew up too, taking that catalog, any catalog that came in, and like circling everything in there for Christmas. This is what I want. Like, what don't you want?
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's gone now. That's just gone. Now kids will look on their phone at 6 years old and pick what they want.
Yeah, send you a what do you call it? A wish list.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I do that to my kids. I do that to my kids all the time. Like on birthday and Father's Day, I'll go through Amazon and put a whole bunch of stuff in a cart and send it to them.
Yeah. That's good. So that whole change. I mean, that just totally changed, from our generation out. Generations past, our kids, won't even know what it is.
Right.
They'll have no idea. So I guess the world continues to evolve, and I think the thing is when as you're growing up, you're so involved in what you're involved in, you don't think it's ever going to change.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you get old and you see that, oh shit, yeah, now it's all changing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on Jason from AMD. I talked to him was it 2 weeks ago at the Mopar Nationals.
Right.
So I hope he didn't forget about us. I just text him, so let's see if we text him back.
What was I gonna say? I spoke with Terry last night. He's got a topic for the show too that he wants to talk about. He said he'll pop in tonight.
Yeah, here he is. Speaking of the devil.
Here he is.
Can you guys hear me?
Evoke your name and you show up. That's great. I like that.
Yeah, what's happening?
Everything's everything. How you doing?
Good. Waiting on Jason. I just texted him, see if he forgot about us.
Hey, you remember it was about a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, I told you I wanted to reach out to OPGI. It was Tony Giroux was the guy's name that we had on. I sent him an email at that last address I had, and it never got answered. So I guess he's not at OPGI anymore.
I can find out.
Check it out. Like I said, I sent him an email at that link, and he didn't respond. So I thought maybe, it didn't say that it wasn't deliverable or anything. Just
see, that's the only thing about email. You don't know if they get there or not.
I figure a work account, work accounts are a little different. You gotta, those guys, that's how they do their business a lot of times. So
yes,
yeah, if you could check it out, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, well. A lot of people, they don't get back to you. They get back to you 2 weeks later and like, oh, I'm sorry, I was busy. Or out of the office, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think did I see him at SEMA last year? I ran by the booth. I don't know if I seen him or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who the person is.
Yeah, he was just a rep. He was a rep from OPGI.
Yeah.
And we had him on here talking about that was when they were just coming into Cadillac stuff. They'll bring out Cadillac, I think, in the big Buick stuff.
Now the guy that owns that, his brother owns Classic Industries.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Nice.
Yep. So their whole family, the two brothers are killing it. They're making some parts.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. Real nice guys.
Next thing you know, we're gonna see Terry in the Announcers Hall of Fame.
So Terry, tell us the experience of the Mopar Nationals of your debut of announcing.
Well, Lewis Lee was there, so it was good to see a friendly face. You know, there's a lot of friendly faces. And the most important thing for me is to find out which one between the 68, 69, and 70 Charger were the most popular one.
Yeah, and I thought, I waited on that. I thought that was a very tough thing to do because there's not a lot of different. Like 68 and 69, it's very minimal. And of course, 70. And if you, God forbid, you want to go to 71,
That's a body style change. Yeah, that's a body style change.
I mean, that's another one that people like, just like we were talking, how people, felt that way about the 70. 71 is even worse. I mean, people won't even talk to you about a 71.
Well, I will tell you this: if ever I go to Richard Petty Hall of Fame, and if I'm able to get in one of them, I'm getting into the 71 because that's the one that I grew up watching. I mean, even though the Superbird would be nice to get into as well, but he says you can only get in one. I'm getting in that one that I used to watch on Wild World of Sports on Saturday mornings.
I agree that the 71 was definitely an iconic. They were all iconic with him behind him, but yeah, he definitely gave that car credence without a doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah,
so I'm definitely getting in that one. Yeah,
Right.
but we did find out, and Lewis was in the crowd. So Lewis, who do you think? What year do you think won?
I think it was the 70, wasn't it?
Oh heck no. It was either I think the 69 got it because 68 and 69 were real close.
Yeah, 69. Yeah, you're right.
Like we said, the 68 gets the original guys because that was the first one of that style, and people and they're the hardest to find now. They're actually there's not many of them left. There weren't many then, and 69 kind of solidified it. And you do have your definite your lines drawn, but they're so close. It's like the 5 Chevys, you really can see that there's a major difference. But even though like 5 and 6, the bodies were very much alike. There was enough of a styling difference that you can pick it out of a crowd. I had to learn how to tell a 68, 69 Roadrunner apart when I judged them one year because I didn't know, and it was such subtle differences. It was like, wow.
On the subject of Mopars, have you noticed how many of the newer vehicles are being stolen?
I haven't seen
the Hellcats and the SUV Hellcats, all of them.
The
Durangos. I just watched a thing a little while ago. Some kids tried to steal 5 of them out of a dealership.
Oh yeah, the Durangos,
yeah, I saw that.
Today's technology, it should be hard to steal that stuff, but it seems like it's not.
But look what went on, like with the Hyundais and all. They were clipping those cars easy. They found out one little flaw, one little flaw, and that's it. They're in the back door and they're gone. It's like with the Corvettes in the day when guys found out where the battery was in the fender, they would just push a rod through it, short the battery out to kill the alarm, and then just tow it away. Or you could just open the hood, put another battery. Well, it was not that easy, but that's what they would do to kill the alarms. Once they found it, you just got to find that flaw. And now with the electronic stuff, they find out how to ghost keys and like with the Hyundais, they'll go through the fender, and there was an ECU there, and they would probe it and short it, and then they could put it in like a key reader, and they'll program their own key into the car. Use the key.
When I was in the stealing for a living business, we used to go to repo conferences down in Florida, and there were key guys down there, or they were tech guys, and they would sell you the new technology to get by stuff.
Yeah,
like if I'd repo a car, I would change the keys. I could change the keys, key codes, all that stuff.
Yeah,
it's pretty slick. There's guys that's their job, learning how to get by that stuff.
All you need is a kid who's that in that level, and there you go. They're stealing the new, and let's face it, they're going to steal the stuff that's fun.
Yeah,
and they could resell.
Those Chargers and Hellcats, man, they're getting stolen.
I was just watching an episode of Chips today. Now this is going back to 1979, some 80, And the scam was these two guys would steal a late model car out of a parking lot, a Mercedes or a Z28, something that was hot, and they would take it apart, but they wouldn't chop it. They would disassemble the car, pull the engine and tranny, pull the interior out of it. And they did it neatly. And then they would, drop the car somewhere where it would be found. So now it was a stolen that was found. And then it would go, the insurance company would pay off to the owner. So they got paid. The car would go to auction, and these guys would be at the auction and buy what, the shell. They take the doors off, the hood, everything. They'd strip it. And they'd buy what was left for pennies on the dollar, but it had a title because, it still held title. And then they could take that car and put all the original parts back in it, and they got a title, and then they could go and sell it,
They caught on to that. That's when the state troopers started. You had to go get it inspected after.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
I knew a couple guys that had chop shops, and they caught on to that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Christy Lee's from All Girls Garage. Her Hellcat got stolen out of her driveway.
Oh, really?
And she had it all on camera, on her Ring camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, not good.
So I've
You
been
see that video? You see that video where there's a guy? What's it called? It had to have been a Corvette, and there's a guy in the car trying to get it started, and then there's a guy outside yelling to the parents or to the people who own the car, "It's not worth losing your life. Stay in the house. If you come out, what would you do?"
Right. I let him take it. I'm not going to lose my life over a car. I call the police, but man, it'd be really hard for me not to shoot out the window at the dude telling me he's going to kill me.
and you can't, can't.
Yep.
That's the thing. Yeah, you got to let him go.
Yeah.
Unless you can get him to steal from inside your house.
Yeah. It's terrible, man. Crime is terrible right now.
Yeah.
So how are the laws about that? If they come in your house, you can shoot them? How does that work?
It depends on the state.
I'll tell you something. I am becoming like the dime store expert on this stuff now because I've been studying it every day. The guy that I took my firearms class with, I just talked to him today, and he says to me, "Damn, dude," he goes, "You're finding the really good videos to send. It's all the legal stuff." There's we don't have stand your ground law here, Terry. We live under the Castle Doctrine, which is where, stand your ground in Ohio, like in Florida, you can be on your property, and that's when you see those properties do not, no trespassing. On this guy's recommendation, I put 2 of those on my fence now. He says, now people have been warned, so if people come on your property, which stand your ground, you don't have to back down and retreat. Here in New York, we have to retreat to a safe place if we're being threatened. And then if you're in your house and the dude, like this is what the instructor told us, the guy crosses your threshold, have at it. He's all yours. But he said, let him come in far enough so when he falls, he's still inside, and make sure he's done because they said now there's only one side of the story. Dead men tell no tales. So Castle Doctrine, you can protect your house, home, and people within it. But if he's outside yelling at you and waving a gun and a rocket launcher and all, you can't shoot him. Can't do it. You got to you're supposed to call 911.
Yeah. Here in Ohio, they come in, it's a wrap. And if we're in the driveway and somebody approaches me and I feel threatened, I don't have to flee. I can handle it.
Right. Yeah. Here we have to flee. And that could just mean, backing up or getting back into a safe space. And then that's the call. When is it imminent fear of your life? When are you really threatened? And that's what the jury decides.
That'd be the worst thing ever to have to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
But when it comes to me or them, you know what I mean? You gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
That's what
that's the decision. Now I'm watching. I watch a couple. I'm watching some lawyers' videos and a couple of self-defense, heavy-duty self-defense channels on YouTube, and this one guy, he kind of picks apart things from the news. So a lot of stuff is like police action. And he had one down in Arizona, and they were chasing this dude. He was a bad guy, multiple felony. He had fled. So they had him in an apartment. He came out, they saw him, and they start chasing him. And he's running, he's got a gun in his hand. So the guy was saying, he goes, listen, I know we got felons who watch this channel. He goes, I know we do, multiple felons. He says, guys, listen to me. Don't run with the gun in your hand. He says, you're going to get shot in the back. He says, don't do it. He goes, it's just common sense. So the cops were chasing him. There were cops down the block. I mean, they had the guy penned in. And at one point, the cop decided he fired through his own windshield and hit the guy, which is a very unlikely shot because windshields, they don't like to penetrate. And then to be accurate on top of that is ridiculous. But he said what he says, I think, he goes, what the cop should have done is use, he goes, he was driving a Ford, an Explorer. He goes, there's a lot of grains behind that Ford badge. Use the truck. He was close enough where he could have just nudged him with the fender and knocked him down. And then all the other cops around, somebody could have scooped him up and apprehended him. So he said, when you can, you know what? And there was another one in traffic. This dude was in a Tesla, and it was road rage. He cut a guy off, and then it looked like it ended. But the Tesla guy comes out of nowhere, gets in front of this guy, and then brake checks him. And they stop on the highway. And the guy in the front gets out with a crowbar, and he starts wailing on the guy's window. So they were saying, okay, if the guy was armed, he had every right to shoot this guy because he was an imminent threat. He didn't know what this guy was going to do. But the guy may not have been armed. He says what he should have done is used his truck to like either push the guy over or pin him and then get the hell out of there. He says the guy would have been hurting a lot more. The guy ended up getting in his car and leaving. And then through multiple reports, they caught him down the road and they ended up arresting him. But they say we had something like that happen here by me. Was it last year? It was in an intersection, and this dude who looked like a girl ends up, I don't know if he was a trans or not. He sure looked like, I think he actually was working as a stripper as a female. That's how believable the guy was. But he was out in the street waving a handgun. The cops, yes. I mean, this is like really Looney Tunes, but it really happened. I mean, not a couple of miles from my house. The cops converged, and nobody wanted to fire because even though he had a gun and he was threatening to shoot people, it was an intersection. There was like a CVS, 2 gas stations, a sandwich shop, a Carvel. The backdrop is bad. I mean, there's people everywhere, and there's windows everywhere. One stray bullet. So you don't want to fire in that case unless you can get close enough to really hit the guy. So one cop, what he did is in his SUV, he drove into the intersection and he hit this dude in the leg hard. I mean, the video showed him going up in the air, cartwheeling and coming down. And our police chief here said, he commended him. He says, you know what? He goes, my officer did the right thing. He says, you couldn't fire on this guy, even though you wanted to take him out because it wasn't safe. The backdrop, there was too many people. He used another weapon in his arsenal. He says, and it's not used enough. So these guys on YouTube said the same thing. You know what? If you're in a confrontation like that, and you got to use, you don't want to use, you don't have a gun, or you don't want to use the gun, take him out with your car.
But then you know what happens now? Now you're going to get sued by this guy, even though he deserves it. You're going to get sued. There's no win.
Well, it depends on the situation. Like in the case of the guy with the Tesla and the thing, he had a history. I think he'd been in jail 3 or 4 times. And yeah, it depends where you are, what the DA is going to do. Yeah, I mean, here in New York, Terry, we have less of a chance with the liberal DAs. But I mean, if it comes down to him or you, like Lewis is saying, you may not have a gun on you, but you're driving a weapon.
Well, you won't have that with me. I got sometimes 2.
Yeah, right. There you go. Take your pick, dude. What do you want?
Yeah. So Terry, Ray's in the house.
He's joining.
Ray, there you
go. Get him on. Let me give him the link.
Yeah, Ray, you want to jump in?
Someone jump in.
Send it to him.
You can jump in, shoot.
Hey, Ray, I'm going to send it to you on Facebook.
Tell me I look like a professor.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, like you said, it's scary out there.
Yeah. Hey Ray, you want
You
to let
know,
the fellas in?
Yeah, sure.
it's not like back, like you can just get into a fight and you know, most of my friends that I got in fight with, that my good friends that I'm friends with still today,
Yeah, me
they
too.
beat my, they kicked my butt or either I kicked theirs, and and we became friends. This is how it was. But man, nowadays you
Well,
can't even think about getting into a fight.
that was then. Now is now.
Yeah,
Yeah, things are a lot different. You're right.
you can't even think about getting into a fight.
No.
Back in my day, you were just worried about getting stabbed.
Yeah,
Somebody with a knife. Now you got, like I said, can't or you got to worry about somebody with a gun.
I'll tell you the truth. I'm not. I'm not even really as worried about the fight as much and as the recovery. These old
Yeah.
bones, man, ain't gonna spring back like they used to. So, you still got fight left in you. I think you always do to some point, but you got to think of like, what's it going to take for me to come back from that?
hmm
We're not chickens anymore.
no,
Come on.
string ones, anyways.
Spring chickens is what I mean. Yeah, not cluck chickens. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
No, I don't know. But I tell you that that Ray is something special, man. That boy, I guess everyone saw the video of him jumping that car.
Yeah.
Tell him,
Pretty
Lou,
He
to
was
be
up.
to see it on social media, TV or whatever, it's cool. But to actually be there, and now you can really judge how high this guy's up. He was easily 3-story building, 3-story floor.
It's like you can watch the video, the Van Halen video, watching David Lee Roth jump around, but until you see him on the big screen, on
See
the
him
big
on big,
stage,
yep, up there, yep, up close and personal.
I'll give you one. You want to use a music anthology? One of the drummers I studied since I was a kid was Billy Cobham. I mean, the man is a master at jazz and fusion, and I saw him just a few years ago at a local place, and he still had that gigantic Octoplus kit, with 9 million pieces, and he played it just like he did in the 70s. And I was like, wow, to see that live just blew me away.
Yeah, no.
So Ray said he was over 32 feet.
32 feet, man.
Hey Ray, I sent you the link in Messenger if you want to jump in.
So you figure you fall at 32 feet per second squared. That's not a long time. You're coming down fast.
Yeah, 217 feet long.
Yeah, on the
32
plane
miles an hour.
on the plane traffic page there, I posted the inside video of that.
Yeah.
Oh, the towel's trying to get out.
Yeah, man, that was the only thing was missing is the actual because it showed him taking off, and it showed then from the outside of the car I guess it was on the quarter panel or whatever. But man, that was a hell of a hit for sure when he landed.
Yeah, that towel was like, I didn't sign up for this. Yo, I'm out.
Yeah.
There's no joke.
It's yeah, but it's good to see how that car is all dressed up as far as with the safety features. Even Tyler's spin.
Oh yeah.
That was cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a production. You don't think about it, but they have a really nice production that they put together.
Yeah.
So what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Joey.
Oh, hey.
I've been over here thumbing through farmersonly.com trying to find me a lady.
Trying to find me a lady, but don't everybody laugh at once. They got them down at the strip club.
Yeah.
I thought that was a new name for a tractor or something, because you said farmers.com. I'm like,
farmersonly.com dating website.
I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, man. I sure hope Jason shows up, because I gave up a colonoscopy to be here tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, text him. He no text back.
Let me see if I can't reach him.
I need to ask you to ask him if I can have his phone number, because I've been calling him for months and months at that number to the office, and leaving voicemails and have yet to hear anything. And I understand he's busy. That's a busy company.
Yeah, he's always on the move.
I think if he would take a minute and listen to what I have to offer, they may just jump on it and say, you know what, let's do it.
See.
Slingshot says, don't worry, Joey. I was laughing at it twice.
He knows what the farmer, what is it called? Farmer what?
Farmersonly.com.
They got it for everything, huh?
Yeah. I was kidding. I ain't on that.
Yeah, right.
I really ain't. Hey, have you ever been in a public bathroom and used their toilet paper and you run out and have to use that cardboard roll to finish wiping one?
No.
Yeah, me either. I just was asking.
Oh, that's for a friend.
Yeah.
So Joey, how's your truck, your square body going?
It is going great. Finally seeing progress. I delivered the cab today over 2 doors over from my house is another YouTube channel guy. Treetop Garage. His name's Tim. Great neighbor. If you ever need to get to a gunfight, call Tim. He's got you back. But his son, Blake, is really good at sheet metal work. And I'm not that great. And this cab needs so very little repair as far as rust. And it's only one rust hole, probably probably a foot long in the area where the door jamb or the rocker meets the floor drop off inside on the floor pan.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to.
Oh, we lost him.
Freeze?
Yeah. So, Terry, what was your project this week?
This week so far, cleaning out the garage so I can get the 69 Camaro and so I could install the QA1 stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, you have all your stuff's gonna ride pretty good.
Oof. Man, I tell you, it's a lot of stuff, and right now we're prepping because I tell you guys, I'm prepping to do a 6-speed on the Trailblazer SS.
I'm back.
Yep, there he is. And so that's going to be a cool build.
I don't know what you heard last before my internet dropped, but
something about no, go ahead.
Only. Well, I was talking about that rust spot where the floor drops off and connects into the inner and outer rocker. Well, there was a lot of dirt and moisture buildup in that area underneath the carpet, and it just rusted that little spot out. And so he's going to fix that. And then this was a 4-wheel drive cab, so you got that shifter hole in the transmission tunnel. Mm-hmm. So they're going to fix that. And then I'm not using the heater core and all that stuff, that big ugly box on the firewall. So I forgot to mention that to him about patching that in, doing like a blank in that.
What are you going to do in place of the heater core?
I'm going to go with later on an aftermarket. I'm not even going to worry about heater because I ain't going to be driving in the winter no way. But I am going to, go with an aftermarket underdash AC unit.
Vintage air?
Vintage air, that's it. But for now, it's just getting that cab straightened out because where it was in that wreck, there's one part of the rear cab support that got crushed. That's got to be pulled out and get it straightened a little bit. But as far as rust, the cab is freaking beautiful. The fenders, the doors, all original sheet metal.
Nice. Getting hard to find.
I didn't get the bed with it, which is why I've been trying really hard to get a hold of Jason. Because the only people I've heard talk about those bed sides they have outside of AMD's people talking about them is United by Trucks channel.
What year is your truck?
87.
Okay, so it got the headlight stack, the square headlight stack. There you
Yeah.
go. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
that
body
one.
style.
Yeah, it's 70. That one's 73 to 80. Mine is the 87. Last year they made the truck.
Yeah.
Square body two-door cab
Two-door.
truck anyway. I
So,
think they
I got
still
the body
made the
style after that.
four-door. Yeah, I think they still made the four-door cab all the way up to
Isn't that
89.
the last year of them being known as C10, where they transferred over to C1500 or something like that?
Yeah,
Silverado or something like that.
they got the C1500. Well, let's see. No, I think they're still considered C10, C20, C30, stuff like that.
Wasn't the 1500 more of a chassis designation? I feel like chassis load rating designation, 1500, 2500, 3000. It was like a load rating as far as I know. I'm not a truck guy, but I can
I read an old. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Because I thought the first Silverado was in like 90, I think.
No.
Like when did Silverado come into place?
My dad had a 1977 Silverado. It
What
had
they call
the
Silverados back then?
Silverado. It had the Silverado emblem on the tailgate.
I stand corrected.
Yep.
You know, Terry,
Beautiful
trucks were a whole
truck.
other world, and if you weren't a truck guy, you know, you really just didn't know.
I'm just learning. I just got that step side, so I'm learning.
Yeah. And I read an old article from 1993 in an old magazine today about the 67 to 72 C10s and then the 73 to 80 C10, what we now call square body. In that article, the guy was talking about that he had done an interview with a man that worked for GM on the assembly line. And he said after the 72 C10 went out of production, they had all these truck frames left over that didn't get used. And they incorporated those frames into the 73 and 74 square bodies. So there's some trucks running around out there that's got 72 Chevy and GMC suspensions and frames underneath them on the 73 and 74, according to that article.
I'd be upset.
I mean, I've got a seven.
Store.
Do what now?
That'll be a nightmare at the auto parts store.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Well, I've got that 72 and I've got this 87 and I've also got a 1980 frame sitting out there. And when they're sitting next to each other, you can't tell a difference in the frame or suspension.
Yeah.
Not even with the body mounts. I mean, there's probably a small variation there as far as measurement. But just looking at them, you're like, I'm pretty sure I could take that suspension and put it over on this 87 suspension, put it over on that 80, and it would probably work.
Yeah.
Or I could take that 80 suspension, put it on that 72, and it'd probably work.
It's probably something stupid like a little tab or something like that for something some feature and give it a whole different model number and everything like that.
I know this.
You know?
If it's like the cars from GM, you know, when the Colonnade bodies came in like 73, the bodies changed. They were still A bodies and still B bodies. But what happened was they redesigned the suspension, the geometry. So like the first year with the Grand Prix and with the Monte Carlos in 73, they angled back the A-frames. They gave it a better geometry for better turning radius. They were learning from the Europeans. Remember radial tune suspension in the Pontiacs? So that stuff won't bolt on to the earlier chassis. I mean, it could physically bolt on, but I don't believe it works. You have to go to a company like what I did. I went to who did I use, Terry? I used Global West, and now they make tubular control arms for a 60s car that emulates what those 70s cars were doing. And sure enough, it changes the camber curve, the bump steer, changes everything. And now the car handles like they couldn't even imagine in 65.
Yeah.
But you couldn't use the stock stuff to do it on the early frame. You'd have to go aftermarket. So the truck could be the same thing. It could be something like that.
You guys remember the one episode not long ago where we were talking about what to look for in used vehicles, and I had stated that what I don't even I said I don't even have a vehicle to drive. That I've been, you know, I'd call people and say, hey, let's go out to lunch, and after lunch I'd say, hey, why don't we stop at Walmart so I can grab a few things. You know, that's what I did for a long time.
You said your niece, right? You had your niece taking you everywhere.
Yeah, my niece. Yeah. And so I was taking her and the kids out to lunch all the time so I could get some shopping done. Well, the other day, about 4 weeks ago, I bought an 02 what is that? GMC High Sierra 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
And you could tell it's an Ohio truck because you can pretty much see through it. But that thing, I drove it all the way out a couple of weeks ago down to Salineville, down below Lewis, south of Lewis, and picked up a 429 engine, brought it back in that truck. And I tell you, I don't think a new truck could compare to it. It rode so nice and ran so good going down the highway.
Yeah, it's a shame that the Ohio rust or Northeast Ohio rust.
Yeah. Well, and on the way there on Route 11, Tim, my neighbor, the 429 was for him, and we were going to pick it up. And he looked in the side mirror. He's like, hey, look out this mirror. And I looked out, and the bedside was fluffed up like a wing. We pulled off the side of 11 and grabbed ratchet straps and did a little bit of body work there on the side of the highway.
Hey, you know what's funny is we could drive that stuff all around, but like in Pennsylvania and New York, it'd be out of commission.
Oh yeah, they would.
We could drive anything. We could drive stuff with no fenders, no door.
No, wait a minute.
When I got this,
don't you guys have the law? Is there a law about there can only be so much rust?
No.
And that's the guys like tape it closed and stuff. Well, they do that somewhere.
I think that's just Maryland.
Not here.
Where's that, Jim?
Yeah, Maryland.
Now, Brian's
always talking about that.
I don't think it's that
Where
way
you
here.
don't
I
have
mean,
someone drive.
I've seen some pretty crappy cars up here.
Well,
I'll tell you what, I just reapplied for my inspector's license. So if I get it in like a week or so, I'll tell you, I'll check the book.
Yeah. The Reese hitch that was on this was so bad off that it was hanging down. And me and Tim and his son, we cut that off. And that back bumper that was on it was handmade by the previous owner, I guess. And they just welded it on one side to the frame rail. The other side was just flopping around, you know.
It wasn't a big 4x4, you mean?
It's 4-wheel drive truck, yeah.
But a hunk of 4x4 wood.
Oh, no. That's bumper here. If you hit this, your car is destroyed just the way this bumper is built. But I didn't put that back on. But after we got all that old stuff cut off, I brought it home, and I had a Reese hitch that I had bought a while back for a GMC Yukon SUV. And I modified that sucker and bolted it right up to this truck frame, and works great.
Nice.
You sure that's not a Michigan truck?
Yeah.
No, it's originally from here. And the interior on this thing is immaculate. The outside, though, if somebody wanted to put bedsides and rockers on it and fenders and bottoms of the doors painted up, it'd be a nice truck.
Yeah, that's what's with my Silverado, man. The rockers and the cab corners, man, are bad. Inner and outer. But the rest of the truck is nice. The rest of the truck is, perfect.
Yeah, but even though this thing's got just under 209,000 on that LS engine, it moves. It's got power, and it's for what I paid for it, man. You can't beat it. I call it my beater with a heater. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I used it today and loaded that cab onto a trailer and drove it 2 doors down and unloaded it at his shop. If you guys are on YouTube, look up Treetop Garage. He's also giving away a very generous giveaway when he reaches 1,000 subscribers. $300 gift card for anywhere you want. And I think a t-shirt and some stickers and things like that. And then there's going to be a runner-up on that as well. Which I think all they'll get is a used diaper and maybe a worn-out t-shirt. But
Nice crisp high five.
yeah.
Is a used diaper worn by you?
No. No, I graduated. I wear onesie pull-ups now.
The onesie.
What's up, Justin?
Oh, another day of fun, man.
Yeah, what you got popping in your neck of the woods?
Quite a bit. Trying to get some projects out. Just got a engine back in a 78 Trans Am. Had to go through, had the leaky freeze plugs.
400?
Yep.
Nice.
So just got that back together in the car. So I could drive that today. We've been trying to push a few out. Getting a few new ones in.
Is it painted up bandit style?
It is.
Nice.
So it is not an actual bandit car. He did, customer say, like, I know it's a clone, but
Yeah.
like I just wanted one and I couldn't afford a real one.
Well,
right.
when you think about it, clone, I mean, they off the assembly line, they came off looking like that. So I understand clone movie wise, but you didn't really clone it to. Well, maybe that one was silver at one time and got painted black, but
How
Right.
good does it look? I
Then
mean,
it
is
would
it
be-
like the dashboard?
Yeah.
He did everything. I mean, you can't tell.
Yeah, no, I mean it looks really good. He had a lot of that stuff. Like I said, I forgot where he told me he got the dash from, but yeah, it's all like that gold turns
Yeah.
look. I mean, it's a good looking car.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
it is.
clones, it doesn't matter. Hey, I'm building a GTO. I'm building the AAR. I don't care.
Yep, that's he loves the car, so
And that's what it's all about.
So Terry,
Yeah.
tell him about Night Rider you were in.
I got pictures. I'll show you. Pat's the guy's name. He's part of Northeast Ohio Dukes, and this guy got a kit car. He made it out of what year Trans Am? It was a Formula, I think a 91
Okay.
Formula, and he got the whole nose for. I mean, this thing looks. Let me see if I can find it. And he didn't just stop. He got the buttons, the boost button, and the lights up and everything like that. It even speaks like Kit and everything. It's
The
an incredible
dashboard,
looking car.
yeah.
Dashboard, the
Wow,
whole nine.
that's awesome.
Steering wheel, everything.
Heck yeah.
yeah,
Let's see if I can find it.
that's pretty cool.
No, it's a beautiful car. The only thing is, he says he's got to get the seats redone because the seats was black interior. He's got to have the beige interior.
Right.
So I got to try to hook him up with Gil.
Nowadays, nobody wants a car that talks to them. It's bad enough to have a woman next to you trying to tell you how to drive.
Right.
Said the man looking for a woman on Farmers Almanac.
Well, she'd be driving an old John Deere,
She ain't gonna let you drive.
not a two-seater either.
Hey, have you been in some of those new tractors? They're nicer than cars.
Oh
I
yeah.
know.
There you go.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, man.
Oh, look at
Here, wait a minute, hold on. Leave it up there, Terry. I'm gonna put you up big. Thanks.
Up, he gone.
knock them off.
Yeah,
Good job, Lewis. You threw him out.
kick him off. Hold on, Terry.
There he is.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
There it is.
Is that a reflection on that B pillar, or is that duct tape?
Yeah, it's a reflection.
Okay.
This
Very
car
cool.
is legit.
Professor Terry.
Don't knock the duct tape vinyl top, man.
Oh, the duct tape is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a duct tape convertible, so
We had a truck we did an LS swap on years ago that came in. You had a bunch of duct tape on the roof. It was black, so yeah, it was poor man's vinyl top.
Okay.
yeah. My
They're making
stepdad,
They're making it
Is,
color now.
Oh yeah.
my stepdad's Camaro back window got knocked out, and he didn't want the inside to get all wet from rain. And while he was looking for a new window, well, he took some tape duct tape and a big piece of cardboard put over the window opening on the outside. And then he tried to drive to the store with the windows down. The wind ripped duct tape, cardboard all right off because he had it on the outside, not on the inside. It was hilarious. Oh, yeah.
The man was a visionary.
Yeah. Visionary idiot. But we loved him anyway. Tried to.
You know, it's funny because me and Ray were talking, and we were talking about, I think, warranties as far as like companies that give warranties, and not warranties. I'm sorry, a number. Like instead of being like, if you have a support, like if you need support and help with something,
Tech lines.
a tech line, exactly, that you can call them up, as opposed to typing in your question. You know, like, because I was telling Ray, is that if it came down to, let's say, you got two companies and you deciding to go with one, they both make the same part, quality, everything. But one has a tech support line, I'm going to probably lean more towards the tech support line guy.
Right.
Yes.
What spawned that was
As long
last
as
week.
it's tech
I
support.
called CJ Pony Parts, which is a huge Mustang, parts seller, and I wanted some tech support. And the guy on the phone said, "Well, we really don't have that." I'm like, "You don't have anybody there that does tech?" He says, "Well, we do have guys, but they're all doing other things." He says, "What you got to do is go to our website and type in your question." And he goes, "We're all required every day to look at those questions." So, because I was trying to find an answer to a specific question, and he says, and 9 out of 10 times what will happen is the guy who's most proficient in that area will pick up that question and answer it. I said, okay, that sounds good, but I tried again, but you can't just grab one of these guys and put them on the phone. No, can't do it. So I had a really bad time with that chat bot, and I started cursing out its family. So
Hey, what we are to do if Jason does show up after the show's half over, just tell him that since he was late, we decided to go to Speedway Motors.
I will tell you, AMD, they do have great tech support, man. They help you out.
Yeah, I've ordered from them, like rocker panels and cab corners, stuff like that on other projects, but
it's even worth paying a couple extra dollars for something to have good tech support.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The company I bought my solar equipment from, dude, not only did the tech support, the guy spent an hour just telling me what works with what I should buy for my application, and how to hook it up.
Yeah. Who did you end up going with?
What's the name of the company? They're out of Texas. Hold on.
Where'd you get that hat from? I've been trying to get a hat all day long from when we were out there 2 days.
I don't know where I got this.
Sorry.
Jason's in the hat. Waiting on him to pop out.
Someone's got his hat. I don't even have an AMD hat, man.
All right, so Terry and Lewis.
Signature Solar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since you two have direct contact with this, Jason, I don't know if you'll do it or not.
We'll pass it on.
Please.
If he wants to call you. If not, then he won't.
All right. Well, just let him know it's Joey Collins at Mill Creek Fab Shop that really, really, really wants to talk to him.
Yeah, we'll let him know that you're a compadre of ours.
Right. Yeah, because I've called and called. The number Terry gave me before, I've called and left voicemails all the time. But like I said, I know they're busy. They're a busy company.
You have to think too. They get a lot of calls from a lot of people asking for stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably us.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not really asking for anything free. I'm wanting to work out maybe some kind of agreement where there will be some money exchanged, but yet they get the credit for it, I guess.
You might want to go on their website and check out affiliate programs. If they might have an affiliate program to do something like that.
Right.
Yep.
That's probably what they're gonna. That's exactly what they're gonna try to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been ordering a lot from them for a Mopar we're working on.
Yeah.
Oh, which Mopar?
68 Roadrunner.
Oh,
Here we go.
What's
There we
left
go.
of a 68 Roadrunner? I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
I don't want
They
to
got all the
oversell it really.
What's
They
the
got all
what's the
the pieces.
powertrain in that car, Justin?
440.
Nice auto 727.
Yes.
Okay.
cool.
It
Is
was
it
going to be a drivetrain suspension upgrade and do a couple of things, but it turned out to be a basket case.
Make sure you do the steering too, because those things. I never liked that Mopar steering.
We've got every part for that thing.
Yeah.
You know, Poly EFI, Willwoods. I mean, you name it. Like, we got it.
Well, top notch on that.
A friend of mine is
Yeah.
restoring a 69 GTX with a 440.
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice. I got a
Right,
question. What?
I'm sorry, Joey. Ray, what happened to the guy who bought that El Camino?
I know a few guys with El Caminos.
The one that you went on the trip with, I think he was out in Ohio.
Oh, that wasn't an El Camino. He bought a 59
the
Chevy
station
Brookwood
Oh, yeah.
two-wheel wagon. Yeah.
Right.
Well, he's working also on a 64 Lincoln Continental convertible project.
Okay.
He was doing, I mean, the cars all together, he was just converting it to Willwood brakes. And he had a lot of other disruptions. So the wagon, he bought the trailer to transport it in, and that's sitting next to his house in the trailer still. So when the Lincoln is done and ready to drive, then he'll start on the wagon project. But he already decided, since the body's already been done, and the guy gave him 2 chassis, you know, he bought an LS motor with it, bought a tranny with it. Then he finds a chassis. I don't know if it was an art car or somebody makes a tube chassis for the thing.
Wow.
With the suspension on it and everything. And he's just going to buy that for like another almost 30 grand.
30,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just drop the
Must
body
be
on
nice.
that, 30 LS in it, you know, and then do all the perfunctory stuff. Yeah, he's one of my friends that actually has money.
Yeah.
Those are good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fun friends.
Yeah.
He's
I
had-
watch him spend his money.
Especially if you hit a
Maybe.
Brookwood or same station wagon, he probably just give you the frame that's already done up.
He's one of those friends that he'll say, "I'm not going to tell you I won the lottery, but there will be signs."
Yeah. No, those are
Yeah.
both X frames.
X
Which
frame.
were not really. I mean, you'd have to box those things out to make them really to handle any kind of horsepower, because they weren't made for that. You know,
That's the same frame under the Impalas, right? The X frame.
everything up until 64, 65 is when they came out with the perimeter frame. So that X frame, you know, the exhaust goes through the frame, the drive shaft goes through the middle of the frame. I mean, everything goes through. Oh, maybe the exhaust may not. I think the exhaust curves around it. It's a real funky exhaust.
If you go on the outside of the frame.
Yeah, right.
In 62, we got an X frame.
So yeah, 65 started perimeter frame, and that's when they could really lay some horsepower down. But yeah, he's just going to buy a new frame kit for it, you know, and then have all the suspension. The guy who was doing the project had a C4 Corvette suspension already laid into the front of one frame, and he was putting the 04 to 06 GTO independent rear in the back. He sold it all with the car, you know, with the car and parts. We took it all home. But the frame kit that he found also has an independent rear in it. I guess out of like a GTO. It was amazing that they thought to do that too. So
You're talking about everything I want to do to my 59 Impala.
yeah, that's kind of the way to go with those cars. And then you can put like 305s, 310s in the back. I mean, you know, real big wheels.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what that is.
So, Lewis, what is ARMO Select Committee?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
You have to Google it. but he just got selected for it, so
Cool.
he could tell us more about it. Maybe we'll see. Something must have happened. Maybe we can get him on next week.
Yeah, well, I know Raymond said in the chat he's been on the road a lot, he believes.
Yeah.
So he may be on the road and forgot about it and don't have service. Maybe, I don't know. Just hope he's all right.
Well, speaking of road, I gotta hit it because got a little boy up here that needs to be in bed. Get your butt in bed. He's
When you gonna be? When you gonna be in When you gonna be in Youngstown again?
Probably in a bit, maybe within the next month, I would think. You know,
I'll be
like the last time it was just running around, just running around.
Yeah.
We weren't there.
Yeah.
I was there for one night, and then I left.
Yeah,
And
I'll
that
be
was the
there.
show.
I'll be there September 3rd.
Okay, so if I'm around that time, definitely get together.
Yeah, I want to go see Lewis and his bus, and probably stop and visit
and
Tyler a
definitely
minute.
hang out.
Yep.
Bus is looking good.
I haven't seen the bus since we did the roof raise.
Oh,
You'll be very
totally
surprised.
different now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the videos, but like everybody says, videos really don't do things justice. But if Lewis is okay with it, I'd like to do a video or an update for my channel, because everybody that was involved watching that whole thing of the roof raise had always said, make sure you give us updates. And so this will be kind of like my update for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. About 5 more rolls of duct tape, it'll be done.
Be done.
Hey, and I'm going to donate a roll.
Okay.
So
Now you only need 4.
yeah, and by the way, I spoke to my cousin. That truck with that rear end is gone.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Somebody came in and bought the whole thing. So,
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna head on off. I will talk with
All right,
y'all
Terry.
next week.
See you, Terry.
Take care, everyone.
See you, Terry. Good to see you, Terry.
Always a
How's Brian?
Yeah,
I
you know
haven't
what?
heard him in
I
a
should
long
go
while.
too. I got some stuff to take care of in the morning.
All right, Jim. Thanks for hanging
See you,
out.
Jim.
Not that 4-letter word, I hope.
Coach.
4-letter word. Oh, that 4-letter word. That with the 4-letter word you don't do anymore.
Well,
I hate
yeah. No, but you got to clarify that, because actually I'm doing more of it now than I did when I was doing it for a living. So yeah, that word.
Like everyone I know that got to that point now does more than they did.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because
You
now
must
it's
be
fun.
talking about.
It's when
You
you
must
get
be
to
talking
choose,
about work.
when you get to choose when to do it, you will do more because you fit it into your lifestyle instead of having to go somewhere and then, now you don't want to do it. It's like, I don't want to be here.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, good
All
night,
right,
guys.
Jim.
All right, Jim. Take it easy.
See you, Jim.
Good night,
Hey,
Jim.
Jim.
What's up, Coach?
Not much. How you
Hey.
guys doing?
Woke up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
I was listening to you guys on the way home. I heard no luck on farmergirls.com or something. Farmtrucks.com, farmtruckandasian.com or something.
There you go.
Farmersonly.com. Write it down so you can go check it out.
Get you a nice farm girl.
Yeah, my wife would kill me.
You want a horse girl. Them horse people make a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
If she gets done feeding the hogs, she'll be in to fix you up something new.
Not before. After.
That's right.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing like a woman that smells like hog guts, boys.
I had to stop and pick up tortillas on the way home, so I was listening while I was driving and walking through the market.
Oh man, I had Taco Bell yesterday. The plumbers union put a red flag on me after that.
So that's normal Taco Bell then.
Yeah, I get the same thing every time I go there, diarrhea. So
Yeah. What do you
Are
got,
you-
Coach?
Not much. We were supposed to have a scrimmage today, and I guess a thunderstorm came through at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and school gets out at 3:30, and the school we were supposed to meet up with, they canceled. I feel bad for their coach though. the athletic director canceled, and he's texted me, and I said, yeah, I heard. I said, we're going to have practice because it's going to be over. It's going to hit and then go before school even lets out. And he says, yeah, they canceled practice on me too. And I said, y'all can't even practice in the gym? And he said, no. And I said, sorry, I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Only a little bit. Because I gotta face him twice, and they're our rivalry game. At the last game of our season, we get to play under the lights at the high school, and for the last three, I think it's the last 3 seasons, he's got the rivalry on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to. He's a good coach, though. We used to coach together. And that was the hardest thing, is when we had a former athletic director that didn't really like either one of us and got him out of there and was trying to get me out, and then the athletic director left. I wish the athletic director left and we stayed. But I got to stay. It worked out good though for both of us, because I got a good athletic director now, and overall his athletic director is really good too. So we get a lot of whatever we need or whatever we ask for, and even if we can't get it, if the question has to go above our athletic director's head, that both of our athletic directors, they'll go up and ask, and then come back with a no and the reason why, or what do we have to do to try to get it to work. So we got a real good working relationship. So
yeah, that's good.
But yeah, we had a good practice today. We finally got all the kids fully padded, and we just ran some basic stuff that we were going to run in the scrimmage, just to see where the kids are at, what we need to work on, because our first game is on Tuesday. So,
Lewis,
yes.
What is your retirement date? This year, isn't it?
Yeah, the 30th.
This month?
September.
Oh, okay, so next month. Oh,
Yep.
cool. Well, we need to have a big shindig for you.
Yeah, I'm putting together. I'm putting together a wish list.
Yeah.
I'll get you some extra duct tape for the road. So
yeah, you can never have to.
Yeah,
that's true.
Look at Jason there. He's looking down at his phone because he's on that phone with Johnny.com.
You gotta check him out down there. You gotta check him out, man.
Wife catch you on there, buddy.
Brian, you've been quiet the last couple of shows. What's going on? You okay?
Yeah, I asked him earlier how he's doing. He didn't say nothing. So.
Just fine.
Right.
Just listening. Taking it all.
Don't have much to say. Just.
Well, you do, but some of it is behind closed doors. Other stuff is censored. Some of it is for certain years only.
Right.
No, we'll get you talking. That's all right. We'll start talking soon.
We'll get you talking, then we'll have to wash our ears out with soap.
Yeah.
I lost a little control last week coming out of the gate, and so I just,
That's all right.
Yeah, you're all right, bro.
We have that once in a while. Listen, we all got a vent.
Yeah.
We don't have time for all that, but
Yeah.
Hey, your family, you get opportunity to vent whenever you need to.
Hell yeah. Oh man. So let me ask you guys a question. Have any of you ever flown on commercial airlines and brought a firearm with you?
Yes.
No.
And you packed it in your luggage?
Yes. You have to.
It had to be in secondary containment, right? Like another
lockbox.
So how do they? I heard that certain airlines have certain requirements for what they consider to be a correct lockbox, right? Is that correct?
Yes. So what you do is whatever airlines you're going to go to, they have all the information on the website.
Okay.
So you just go, and you print out their sheet and just go by what their specs are. But most of them, if you have a nice like a Pelican box or one of those gun boxes,
like a gun, yeah,
right,
and you put your ammo out of the gun in the original box that the ammo came in.
Right.
You lock that in there, and you just go to where you check your bag and declare a firearm.
So you mean I got to carry that brown box of 1,000 rounds that I buy all the time? I got to carry that with me?
I don't know if you should do all that, but
Yeah, but you probably got to have a.
Because they don't come in the little boxes. I get those bulk boxes.
Does it have to have a trigger lock on it too?
No. Well, it depends on the airline.
Okay.
I flew on Delta, and I flew on what was the other one? Delta and Southwest, I think. So everyone's different. You know, you just gotta go read their information. But it was pretty easy. It you know, it's pretty easy.
You ever sat on the exit row?
That's the only one I sit on because there's a little extra room for my legs.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember one time I rode in one, and this lady come by. She says, "Now, have you read the seat back pocket card? Because if this plane goes down, you got to know how to open that door and help people off the plane." I'm thinking in the back of my head, you know, I bought a ticket. I'll be happy to help them off of a burning plane if they can follow my wide rear end through that door.
Yeah.
I'm getting off the plane. And then I always thought, because you know how a plane will crash and the whole plane will be demolished, but that tail will be sticking up?
Yeah.
I figure if I get my tail on the tail, I'd save my tail. But I ain't never found a way to get back there.
I hear you. So yeah, Ray, I flew a couple times with it. I was nervous, but it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. That's yeah. Not that I'm going anywhere. I was just thinking for the future.
Now, what I did is my lockbox out of my truck has a cable. So I put the cable, wrapped it around the inside of the suitcase, you know, the up and down bars.
Yeah.
So I wrapped it around that and then locked it up that way too. So, because you don't know who's looking at it, you know.
This one instructor I studied under just recently, he said he'll always put an air tag in his bag too. So he goes, this way when they lose it, I know where it goes.
Yep.
So that's a good thing too.
Yeah, that's smart.
But I took my cheap gun, the gun I didn't care about losing. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
What do y'all think of that one dating website? It's called, what's the name of that? Ancestry.com.
Well, I was going to segue into holsters, and now we're going into cheap dates. I don't know. Can't help you there, Joey.
Yeah, you're on your own on that one.
Coach, where are you from?
Where am I from?
Yeah.
I'm in Arizona.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of good-looking people in Arizona. That begs the question, what state are you really from?
Yeah, go on desertdates.com.
Well, I can tell you this. So my family on my mom's side, so on my dad's side, we're Polish. On my mom's side, we're Hispanic. And my family can trace their roots back here to this city, to Tucson, Arizona, going back to 1775.
Wow.
And I cannot date any Hispanic girls in this city because
they're all your cousin.
No joke. There have been a couple of times I've started talking to some girl, and I'm like, hey, you know, come meet my mom and whatnot. You're pretty cool, whatever. And we sit down, and my mom starts talking to him, and within a few sentences, she goes, "Well, wait, your mom's name or your grandmother's name is, oh, and you're from the this family?" And yeah, and then after a few questions and whatnot, my mom turns and goes, "You guys are cousins." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I've never seen." And we would have big family reunions too. And I'm like, "I've never seen this girl at the family reunion." I went to school with the kid. I went to school with this kid since middle school in my first year of high school, and he was black. And years later, my mom's talking to me, and she goes, "You know, Roosevelt. And I'm like, Roosevelt? And she said his last name. And I said, yeah, I know that name. And I said, oh, he goes by Roe. And she goes, yeah, you guys are cousins. We had classes together, everything. And like, we knew each other. We never knew we were related.
So, well, so let me ask you this. So after your mom clears that up with your date, who she is, what does your wife say?
No,
That's a little wild, isn't it?
That's
huh?
a good one, Ray.
Yeah, see the laugh, you see the blank stare, you're like, whoa.
No.
You paused there for a minute. His stomach started feeling like spoiled eggs there, didn't it?
No, that was back in high school. That was back in
high school,
yeah. Now I will tell you, my oldest son's mother, my first wife, we knew each other in high school, and I brought her home, and are we any relation, Mom? No, and she asked her a few questions. No, so we start dating, and we end up getting married. And then my mom goes, I will tell you this, her uncle lives 2 houses down from your nana. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? And we ended up at a Super Bowl party over at her uncle's house, and my older siblings hung out with her cousins. And then at one point, one of the cousins, he came into town, and they lived catty corner across the street from my nana. And he popped out and he goes, hey, he goes, you're so my first name is John, so I go by Isaac, but he goes, you're Little John. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I go by Isaac. And he goes, yeah, well, I know you from way back. And I'm like, I don't remember you. And, well, I used to hang out with your brothers. And he goes, so you're taking care of my cousin there? And I said, what cousin? And he goes, yeah, she's my cousin too. And I'm like, well, you're related to them, and they're related to them, and then you're related to her. So yeah, it's kind of a small city. Oh, and even better yet, you want to get a good laugh? There was a coach in youth football I used to coach against, and he just drove me nuts. Like, I did not like him. He drove and I guess I drove him nuts. And I had some pretty rough
Turned out he was your brother, right?
Well, almost. I had some really rough nicknames for him. So one year we're coaching together, and when we were doing signups, his wife and I were talking, and I was telling her, I can't date nobody from here. And she goes, he's got the same problem. And we were talking, and then a few weeks into the season, my mom comes to a game, and she walks over and starts talking to him, and she goes, yeah, you guys are related, through from this person, this person. Now we're related by marriage, but this whole time, like, we couldn't stand each other. And probably afterwards we still irritated each other still, but it ended up we were related.
So this was
That's
last
funny.
year.
Your mom is the knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow. That was last year that happened, right?
No, it's been a few years.
Okay.
But
that reminds me about my friend. I'd known him since about 8th grade. He came to me years later. He says, man, I got this problem with my third cousin. It just tears me all to pieces, getting excited about her. He says, what should I do about that? I said, well, stop counting them. Third cousin, you get it? Yeah. Some of my jokes fall flat. I can't help it. Ain't my fault.
Well, guys, I got to jump ship.
All right, Louis.
Oh, man.
Sure.
Hopefully we'll get Jason on next week if everything's okay.
Yeah.
Tell him I missed him.
I sure will. You guys have a good week.
Real quick, does their company, do they sell Mopar sheet metal too?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they sell everything.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Hold on.
You could build an entire Mopar. Just open the catalog, start ordering.
Here we go. That's Ray actually jumping.
Okay.
Yeah. You remember Dave from Rust Bucket Restos that was on the show a couple months ago, Coach? He's got the 68 Charger, the 71 CUDA that he's rebuilt. Every bit
Yeah.
of that, those cars, both of them, is nothing but AMD sheet metal.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
he's man, that 68 Charger, for what it came from here in Northeast Ohio to what it is now, you never know if it's ever the same car. And
Yeah.
watching those panels go on his channel, it's like they came right off of the assembly line because they just fell right in. He didn't have to make any relief cuts or nothing. They just fell right in, like they were already, on the car or whatever at one point.
I need to find some fenders, and doors for my Dodge truck. Many years ago, it's 72, and I got the bright idea because I had a 84. I wanted to change everything over and give it a newer look, and it doesn't look bad, but I'm like, I should have left it all original. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
It was fun at
70.
the time. I mean, it was fun at the
Yeah.
time, but I look back now and I'm like, and going to the junkyard, I can't find no trucks with those fenders and stuff.
Yeah, check the marketplace too on Facebook. I've been seeing a lot of Dodge trucks on there for sale, older stuff.
Okay.
You may get lucky and find original sheet metal and grill and everything right there in good shape.
Yeah.
That'd really be the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be a direct fit. You ain't going to have to modify nothing. Which I don't believe you would have to even with AMD because of the way I've seen panels just fall in place, not just on Mopars, but other vehicles.
But on the other
Camaros and just different vehicles, like one guy right now is doing I believe it's a 62 Impala and floor pan. He's doing a full floor and it came from AMD and it just fell right in. All you have to do is just clean up where the old one was and drop the new one in and weld it down. You'd never know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, their stuff's pretty nice. I think that's what we put in that 61 was a 62 floor.
Yeah.
They don't make 61 parts.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably guys have watched him. It's Guzzy's Garage on YouTube. First name's Robert. He's a really good fabricator. I watch all their channels. I do so much daggone research on parts to see who's doing the most advertising of them from different manufacturers. And the one that I found I only found one channel that promotes the AMD bedsides for 73 to 87 square body, and that's United by Trucks channel. That's the only channel other than AMD's channel where they talk about it. But yeah, they're going to talk about it. It's their product. But when you have outside people talking about it, that makes a difference, in my opinion. And, I want to bring that up to Jason and say, look, man, I've done my research. I've searched and searched and searched. The only channel I've ever found that's ever even mentioned your bedsides for these trucks is that United by Trucks channel. That's all they ever do is square body. Anyway, I'll get my chance to talk to him eventually, I guess.
All right. So I think what we're going to do now is we'll end the live stream. We'll save some bandwidth, and we'll talk amongst ourselves.
All right.
So yeah, obviously, and what would have been an AMD show, we'll be back next week with more. Ray Guarino, of course, got Matt Command Brian, Joey Collins making a return appearance. We had Terry in the house, Coverman Terry, of course, Coach Isaac, and Justin from American Gas, a hot rod shop. So we're going to end this now. We're going to stay, and we'll be back next week with more of this fun. So what do we say, Justin? What do we tell people who are going to watch me take out the garbage later?
Well, they can follow you on social media, but they better not follow you home.
Yeah, it's like 8 steps, and it's a nasty 8. So, all right. All right. Catch you guys next week.
Later, guys.